Welcome to the Deep Dive. We plunge into fascinating topics, pull out the key bits of knowledge, basically the things you need to know. Today, we're looking at something maybe hiding in plain sight. Beautiful, but surprisingly dangerous. We're often taught to fear snakes, spiders, the obvious stuff, right? But what if some gorgeous plant, maybe even one you've seen around, could be just as deadly? Or maybe even more so? So for this deep dive, we're exploring the most poisonous plants on Earth. And we're using an article from December 2016 called 10 Most Poisonous Plants on Earth, 10 Most Today as our main source here.
Yeah, and it's not just, interesting trivia. It's actually quite serious. The article points out that over 100,000 people are affected by dangerous plants every year. So what we want to do today is kind of boil down that essential info for you, give you a shortcut to understanding these surprising facts, help you feel a bit more confident, recognizing potential dangers without getting totally overwhelmed by it all.
Exactly. We're going to unpack the specifics of these, well, incredible but also incredibly dangerous plants. We'll walk through them, point out what they look like, what makes them dangerous, and importantly, the symptoms if someone gets exposed. Let's jump in. First up, we have wisteria. Most people know it for those just stunning purple flowers that hang down. It comes from Japan, parts of the U.S., China, but really you see it in gardens everywhere. It's a big vine. It can creep up to like 60 feet. Huge. But here's the kicker. Despite how lovely it looks, the source says the entire plant is considered harmful.
The whole thing, yeah. It's a bit of a, like you said, wolf in sheep's clothing. If someone ingests any part, the symptoms are things like migraine, headache, feeling queasy, nausea, also fever and diarrhea. Not pleasant.
Right. Sounds nasty. Is it hard to treat?
Relatively speaking, no. The treatment mentioned is mainly anti-nausea drugs. So it's a warning, but usually manageable if treated.
Okay, so from that garden beauty, let's switch to something that sounds, well, frankly terrifying from the description. The rosary pea. It's a perennial vine, climbs up to maybe 20 feet, and it has these pea-shaped pods about 1.5 inches long that open up, and inside are these bright red seeds, often with a little black spot. They almost look like ladybugs sometimes. But the source here is pretty blunt. It says, and I'm quoting, "A solitary seed can generate adequate toxin to eliminate a human."
Wow. Just one seed?
Yeah, that's incredibly potent. What makes it so dangerous?
It contains a toxin called abrin, and the article calls abrin amongst one of the most effective poisonous substances recognized to man. It's extremely powerful stuff.
Okay, so what happens if someone encounters this abrin?
The symptoms are severe. We're talking fever, stomach upset, hyperexcitability, which sounds quite alarming, diarrhea, colic, drooling, vomiting. It really underscores the danger, doesn't it? Makes you think twice about picking up random pretty seeds.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on. Next is oleander. This is another one people might see used as an ornamental shrub, especially in warmer areas. It's a woody bush, grows maybe up to 13 feet tall, has reddish-brown pods, distinct flowers. You find it in deserts, shrublands, Mediterranean-type forests, quite widespread.
And again, don't let its common use fool you.
Right, because the source makes it really clear.
Yeah.
Every single part of the oleander is dangerous. Flowers, seeds, leaves, the latex or sap, bark, even the roots, all of it.
That's correct. It's like completely toxic. If ingested, it can cause a slowed or irregular heartbeat, weird changes in color vision, sleepiness, fatigue, bad abdominal pain, and vomiting.
It's amazing how some plants develop such comprehensive defenses.
It really is. Evolution in action, I suppose, but quite dangerous action for us.
Definitely. Okay, our next plant is a real veteran, the European yew. It's one of Europe's oldest trees, grows super slowly, but can get massive, up to 132 feet tall. It has these dark green, flat, narrow leaves. Seems quite stately.
Very much so. But there's a crucial point about its toxicity.
Yeah, the article says, all sections of the plant are particularly hazardous except the aril. And the aril is that little fleshy red cup-like thing around the seed. Looks kind of like a berry.
Right. So the tempting red part is okay, but the seed inside it and everything else on the tree leaves, bark, highly toxic.
And there's another twist, isn't there? Something about when it dries out.
Yes, that's critical. The source notes that the plant's toxicity increases substantially when dried out. So, dried clippings, fallen leaves you might ignore, they could actually be more dangerous than the fresh plant.
Wow. Okay, so what are the symptoms if someone is exposed to the toxic parts?
They're very serious. We're talking heart attack, impaired circulation, so your blood flow gets messed up, breathing difficulties, convulsions, muscle tremors, and a rapid heartbeat. It's potent stuff.
Extremely potent.
Oh.
Okay, next up, the lucky nut. Sounds cheerful, doesn't it? It's an attractive evergreen from tropical America, grows up to maybe 23 feet, blooms all the time, looks lovely.
But as is the theme today, appearances can be deceiving.
Indeed, the source says all parts of this shrub are harmful. They contain something called heart glucosides.
And what's particularly concerning is how these glucosides work. The body apparently selectively concentrates them right in the heart muscle.
That sounds bad.
It is. And the article specifies that the seed kernels have the highest concentration of these poisons.
So what happens upon ingestion?
You might feel a numb, burning sensation in the mouth and throat almost immediately. Then comes diarrhea, vomiting, stomach pain. But it can get worse. Dizziness, dilated pupils, an irregular heartbeat, and potentially even heart failure.
Targeting the heart like that is,
Oh.
it's chilling.
It shows how specific some plant toxins can be.
Okay, let's talk about aconite, also known as wolfsbane. It has those really distinct dark blue, sort of helmet-shaped flowers on tall stems. Comes from mountainous parts of Europe, places like Switzerland, likes damp spots.
And the source singles out a specific part as most dangerous. It says the most dangerous sections of the plant are the origins, specifically the roots of the European Aconitum napellus.
Right, the roots. And what makes aconite poisoning particularly nasty?
Well, it hits multiple systems at once. The source mentions combined effects: gastrointestinal, cardiovascular, and neurological.
So triple threat. What are the general symptoms?
Things like muscle weakness, that pins and needles feeling, but specifically on the face, a fast heart rate, other abnormal heart rhythms like ventricular ectopics, pain in the abdomen and chest, and vomiting. It's a real systemic assault.
Sounds incredibly serious.
Okay.
Moving on to the castor bean plant. Originally from East and Northeast Africa, stretching to the Middle East. The size varies a lot, 3 feet up to 30 feet tall. And it has these very distinctive large leaves, like 4 to 30 inches wide.
Yeah, quite recognizable leaves. And the fruit is interesting too. It's described as round, covered in soft bristles. Inside are these tick-shaped seeds referred to as beans.
But definitely not beans you want in your chili.
Absolutely not, because the seed layers contain ricin.
Ricin. That name rings a bell, often in less natural contexts like bioterrorism discussions. How dangerous is this plant-derived ricin?
Extremely. The source calls it among the most dangerous compounds understood to man. Ricin is a cytotoxin. It kills cells. Ingesting the seeds leads to really severe symptoms. Think extreme bleeding lesions inside the intestines and stomach, also serious bleeding lesions in the throat and mouth.
That's horrific, and
Yeah.
it just comes from this plant.
Yes. It's quite sobering, the power contained in some plants.
Definitely. Okay, number 8 is cestrum. These are small hedges and trees, originally from Central and South America. They have greenish-white flowers and produce white berries.
And it's those berries, particularly when they're not ripe, that pose the main threat.
Right. The article says when immature, the plant's berries create solanine.
Ah, solanine. Some people might know that name in relation to green potatoes.
Exactly. And what does solanine do here?
According to the source, it damages the lining of the digestive system tract and also depresses the main nervous system.
Okay, so effects on the gut and the brain. What symptoms does that cause?
You're looking at diarrhea, migraine, vomiting, nausea, but also things like hallucinations, disorientation, irritability, restlessness, and even facial flushing.
Hallucinations from unripe berries.
Apparently so. It's a
Yeah.
good reminder that natural doesn't always mean safe, especially with unripe fruit.
Good point. Next, the China berry tree. Originally from tropical Asia, can get pretty big, up to 60 feet high, with wide branches. Quite imposing. It's known for these gold 12-inch spheres, the fruits which hang on through fall and winter. They apparently taste sour and nauseating.
Which is probably a good warning sign from nature itself.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
The source says basically all parts of the plant have alkaloids and some unidentified toxins. These toxins mainly mess with the human gastrointestinal system if any part is eaten.
And while the fruit is the main culprit, it notes the roots, flowers, bark, and even fallen leaves are potentially toxic too.
So what are the immediate effects?
Primarily diarrhea, stomach pain, and intense vomiting. Pretty standard GI distress symptoms initially.
But it can get worse.
Yes. The article mentions that as the poisoning progresses, the victim might get dilated pupils and could even become unable to speak.
Unable to speak, that's
Right.
alarming. Shows how toxins can affect neurological function too.
Exactly. It's not always just about the stomach.
Okay, finally number 10, hemlock. Or more specifically, poison hemlock. Belongs to the parsley family. grows maybe 2 to 6 feet tall, likes damp, waste areas. It has a root that looks kind of like a sweet potato, and the stem is hollow with reddish or purplish spots or streaks.
Mm-hmm. And this brings us to perhaps one of the most insidious dangers we've talked about today.
Right, the source really emphasizes this.
Yeah.
The flowers, as well as leaves of the plant, can conveniently be misinterpreted for those of carrots and also parsnips.
Yes, that visual similarity.
This seems like a critical point. Why is this resemblance so incredibly dangerous?
Because people forage, right. Or maybe they just see something in their garden that looks like Queen Anne's lace or wild carrot. This deceptive appearance is a recurring theme, but with hemlock, it's particularly potent because the lookalikes are things people do eat.
So if someone makes that mistake,
The consequences are severe. Poison hemlock causes excessive salivation, anxiety, a weak pulse, dilated pupils, muscle tremors, weakness, headache, and also the GI symptoms: diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, stomach pain. Historically, it's famous as the poison used to execute Socrates.
wow. So that common thread you mentioned, the deceptive appearance.
Yes, that's a huge takeaway. Whether it's hemlock looking like carrot or maybe other berries looking tasty but being toxic.
It really hammers home the point.
Yeah.
You absolutely must identify plants with absolute certainty before you touch them, eat them, or even handle them extensively.
Absolutely. It's not about being paranoid. It's just about being informed and cautious. Safety first.
And if the worst happens,
Yeah.
if someone thinks they've been exposed,
The advice is clear. Get help immediately. Contact your public health authorities. In the U.S., that means calling the Poison Control Center or seeking emergency medical help. The CDC website also has resources. Time is critical.
right, don't wait and see. Get professional help fast. Okay, well, that was quite a tour through nature's darker side. But hopefully, you listening now feel much better informed about these surprising dangers. This has been a real shortcut to knowing what to watch out for.
Definitely. And maybe it leaves us with a final thought to consider. If even these beautiful, seemingly harmless plants can hide such potent defenses, such hidden dangers, what other things in our everyday world, things we think are simple or safe, might actually hold unexpected complexities or subtle risks we just don't usually think about?
That's a really interesting question to mull over. Keep that curiosity alive, everyone. Keep exploring and stay informed.